We're here at the Scappoose Industrial Airport in Oregon with Jeff Paulson, who is the co-founder of Evergreen Aviation Services and Restorations. Did I get that right, Jeff?
You got it right. That's it.
All right, I have a lot of questions. We've been walking around looking at some beautiful aircraft in various stages of comeback. Everything from a nice Cessna 140 to a vintage Cub to just some wild low-volume planes from many years ago.
Right.
Tell us, first of all, why this field for you and why here?
Well, I started my business was a hobby to start with. That kind of blew out of proportion and out of the garage. My choice was to come over here. I like the airport, I like the neighbors, the other businesses on the airport, and they had a hangar available.
All right, so the hobby exploded out of your garage.
Correct.
It landed in very tastefully placed pieces here. How do you find people who want aircraft restored, and how do they choose you and feel comfortable using your services?
Normally they find me. I go to a couple different fly-ins a year, typically up to Arlington. I've had a booth up there for many years. And now we have a lot of work out. They see the work, they talk to the owners, and a lot of it's word of mouth. They come to me because they know that we'll do a good job. We don't cut corners, we don't hide stuff from them. We do the job right from the beginning all the way through. I've seen a lot of restorations where they look nice, but when you look close, there's a lot of problems. And you won't get that with us. We'll tell you up front what's going on and what we're going to do, and then we stick to it.
Jeff, let's talk about some of the specific projects you have going on in the hangar here. Tell us about the Cub.
The Cub is a J3 Cub from 1946, and the owner came to us. She had flown in it when she was a little girl with her dad. In the early 80s, it had become unairworthy. He had taken the wings and tail and engine off and stuck it up in the rafters of his shop. And after he passed away, she decided that she wanted to be able to fly in it again. So she contacted us. We went over and looked at it and literally pulled it from the rafters and brought it down, and then we did a full ground-up restoration with it. It was not in the best of shape. The wings were made from 3 sets of wings that her dad had. We changed the engine on it, went to an 0200 for 100 horsepower instead of the original 65 because she wanted to be able to put it on floats. We wanted to give her a little extra horsepower on it. We first flew it last week after about a 5-year restoration. We just we take the restorations at the pace that the owner can afford to go with it. And so this was about a 5-year project for us. And she's happy with it. Now she's getting ready to learn how to fly it.
Cirrus Design's Vision SJ50 single-engine personal jet offers exceptional fuel efficiency, flexible seating for up to 7, advanced avionics, and all the Cirrus safety features you expect, including the Cirrus airframe parachute system. With its V-tail design, the Cirrus Vision is technologically advanced, yet engineered to be simple to fly, to allow owner pilots more lifestyle pursuits than any other personal aircraft. Learn more about the Vision SJ50 at cirrusdesign.com.
Some aren't that ambitious. Tell us about the 140 behind us here.
The 140 is an owner that we're actually working on 2 projects with. He brought it to us, had the wings recovered, and then decided that the wings looked so nice and the fuselage was pretty bad. He had us polish the fuselage as well and make some other repairs, put a headliner in it, and just kind of a general clean up and redo for him to make it look nice.
Now, this Traveler that's our backdrop is a very nice piece, and that actually won an award for you at Arlington. How did you get this, and what's it been through?
The owner came to us with the airplane. He's a local pilot, or was a local pilot, and we were the 3rd shop to work on it. The other shops would do a little bit and then set it aside and not complete it, and he wanted it done, so he came to us. The metal was made on it, the wood was on it. And when we try to pre-fit the wings on, we always pre-assemble the components just to make sure everything fits and we don't have any surprises before they're covered. And we found out that the frame was bent, so we had to take everything off and straighten the frame, and then the wood didn't fit and the metal didn't want to fit, so we had to rebuild all of that for him. And we finished the airplane and flew it, and except for a bent prop, it flew good. That made the first flight exciting. And it's been a good flyer ever since. Unfortunately, he can't fly it, so somebody has to, so I do for him.
How kind. I understand this has also been quite an introduction to young people into antique aircraft.
It has been. We've been invited 3 years, this is the 4th year actually, we've been invited to take it down to the Reno Air Races for the National Aviation Heritage Invitational. That's a very prestigious event to be invited to. There's only typically about 30 airplanes on display. And the judges are from the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, and they're the ones who choose the airplanes. So you put in an application, they accept you or they don't accept you. And last year, well, 2 years ago, the owner was with me with the airplane. He said, let's try to put some people in it. So we put kids of all ages in it. Last year he couldn't go, and we were invited to take it again, so I took it down with my brother, and in 5 days we put over 650 people in the airplane sitting in the back seat where the pilot sits.
If you own a Cirrus today, or if you are considering the purchase of a new or used aircraft, consider this. Avidyne, in conjunction with the country's leading Cirrus sales and maintenance facilities, has launched the G3R9 program that combines the purchase of a late-model, low-time Cirrus aircraft and the addition of the Avidyne Integra Release 9 avionics suite for much less than you may have thought, and certainly much less than purchasing a brand new aircraft. G3R9, combining the best airframe, best engine, and best avionics for the best value.
We can't get out of here without talking about the Model O.
Model O is the biggest project we've undertaken so far. It's pushing my design limits, but it's been a fun project. The owner came to us about 2 years ago, said he had an airplane that he would like built, a replica, and he said it was a Stenson Model O, and I had no idea what it was. I had never heard of it before. Looked it up on the internet and did some research and found out that there had only been 10 of them built in 1933. They had been designed as an aerial machine gun platform and bombing training for the Honduran Air Force. When they built them, they used modified SR-reliant wings, tail, and landing gear, except instead of being a 4-place cabin airplane, they made it a 2-place open cockpit parasol. It has almost a 40-foot wingspan, stands about 8.5 feet tall. Fuselage is 4 feet longer than the Straddler behind us, or a Stearman, powered by a Lycoming radial engine. The owners had found a Reliant project in Nebraska, and I went out to Nebraska, looked at it, bought it for them, trailered it back, and got it back the day after Thanksgiving 2 years ago, and we'll have it flying before the 2-year anniversary of working on it. So we modified the wings. We had to take 2 feet off the tip, move the struts in 19 inches, redo the aileron and flap bay because there's no flaps. We had to eliminate that. Remake 5 ribs on the root to get the shape where it needed to go, and then build a fuselage from a photograph.
All right, now the other, obviously, resource that's going to be in tight supply in any kind of operation like this is expertise and experience. And you are obviously an experienced veteran guy, but you don't go back to when some of these planes were made. No. Or the techniques were popular in current production. Where do you find the people, and what does it take to train them?
The people normally, again, find us a lot. Right now we have 3 apprentices that are from a local A&P school. They work with us on the afternoons after school. This is their summer break, so we get a lot of sanding right now. But basically we have to train, whether they're licensed A&Ps when they come in or not, we still have to train them with doing the fabric work, with doing the woodwork, because it's just not taught in the A&P schools like it used to be.
In all fairness, the schools will be preparing them for something that's just not done much anymore. I mean, you have to love this.
Right. They're changing from the fabric to the composites, and again, out of the wood. They do a little bit of wood, but not a whole lot. But again, focusing mostly on the composites now in the metal.
Tell us about the website. What's the URL, and what will people see if they go there?
Our website is www.evergreenaviationservices.com, and we have a full list of projects that we've completed, projects that are in process right now. It's a great website as far as looking at all the projects and all the pictures. Part of our education is just showing people how to do stuff, and that's part of it.
Well, Jeff, we're going to look around a little more, and we really appreciate your taking the time to talk to our viewers, and keep doing this stuff.
I definitely plan on doing it for a lot longer.